my son went here a little while back, and he was challenging, and he was one that probably should have been suspended. But somebody really, really worked with him. And I know one of his teachers was here until I came up here. She worked with him hard, and big time. I gave her full rank. You know what? Do what you got to do with him. And she did. He's doing excellent. I want to give you that report. He's doing excellent over Rancho Dominguez. I tried, single parent. Oh, Anthony Owens. She was she'll see him on the yard. I was the kind of parent that would do pop-ups. And the office, I let them know. I said, please forgive me. I know my kid, and parents, you know your children. I need to do pop-up on this kid to let him know I'm with that teacher. So don't try to pull anything on her. But I had one particular teacher, she had her on, and she'll meet him out on the yard. I see what you're doing. So you see, she's right. I feel you. Some kids need that firm grit, but then that's all they need. And then my godson, he's here now, and he's autistic. And many other schools just could not deal with him. And his mom brought him over here. And I'm going to go very quickly. We tried to teach him how to walk to school when she was away. And we came through at night. And he was so angry because the school was closed. He loves Mr. Bacon. Whoever Mr. Bacon is, this child is doing excellent. So I hear our problems, and I hear some ways that we are planning to work on it, and I thank God for the positive too. We need to hear both.
You know, NAACP get all kinds of calls. Torrance, Gardena, Harrison, with these type of problems. When there's an opportunity to teach, they don't teach. They call the police. Now this boy got a record. It's going to follow him through his teen, maybe through his whole life. If they choose to do that, go back. Well, he had problems in high school when that particular teacher could have taught him something at that point in time instead of calling the police. And be very frank with you, a lot of our Caucasian teachers, they're afraid of our black kids. So they let them do what they want to do. Now, I know 2 or 3 cases as far away as LAI. We finally got him out of that, too. He stood up in the classroom and said, I got mine, y'all got to get y'all. And that's what was going on. And finally, they got him out of there. It took some getting him out of there. I don't know what the superintendent might not have been told about it or what was going on, but that's what he was over there doing, and they was complaining to us at that time.
I'm sorry. We're going to move on our agenda, and so we feel that we're very optimistic that there will be some changes because you have a new administration, and we're looking very forward to working with them. And we've also discussed the monitoring and construction, and so we'll be offering our services to help do that as well. There is another issue here that has been brought to our attention about the safety here regarding the alternative and charter schools. Would you like to address that, please?
I just wanted to say about the Magnolia Charter School. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're having 11th graders on campus, or 11th or 12th graders, and there's an alternative school here that the community didn't know anything about. So if you please enlighten us, because we are not happy with that.
Okay, what I want to say is that Magnolia and Curtis are 2 separate entities. Of course, Curtis is part of LA Unified. Magnolia is independent. I am pleased to say that Magnolia is really working with us this year, and our students are always separated. We have worked with the administration at Magnolia to ensure that our passing periods, our lunch, and our supervision periods are all separate, so our students don't come in contact with Magnolia. And on those days when the schedules are a little bit different, and there may be an instance where our passing periods, their passing periods may take place during
make sure that they're visible to escort their students so that they won't come into contact with our students.
The question was,
With respect to,
you have 11 graders on campus.
with respect to the 11th graders, Magnolia does have
Okay, that was-
11th grade students, but we don't see those students. So they don't come in contact with our
I understand, I
children.
just want the question asked, 11th graders are on campus, and then you have an alternative school here also.
Okay, the City of Angels, that camp, that is on site with Magnolia. Those, it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's an alternative program, and the students come in once a week maybe to meet with their instructors in the office. So they don't come onto the campus. And
Could you give me a grade?
it's independent
I'm
study.
asking for grades. I understand all about independent and public school. What's the grade level?
The grade level of City of Angels, they go to the 12th.
So 12th grade. So 12th grade.
Okay, but they don't come in contact with
I
our
understand that. I was just asking for grade levels.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
I have a concern. The Magnolia goes up to 11th grade. Do they use our PE facilities and locker rooms? I'm wondering, do they?
They do, however, can I answer?
Hold on, okay, hold on. We're going to recognize everybody.
Okay, I just, no, you can answer it. I'm concerned about it.
Okay, now the chair, now.
Okay, Mrs. Sandra, you asking him the question?
I'm asking you.
Yes,
know,
would you like to answer the question?
Yeah, the Magnolia, they do use our PE facilities. However, their schedules are different. They do not use the same facilities at the same time.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I would like to
Would you
address,
identify yourself?
hi,
for the record?
I'm Tanya Folks, teacher here. The reason this came up was last year, our PE teacher had stated at the, this year may have changed, last year it wasn't, and the previous year wasn't. The issue was, you had sixth graders in the same room, in the PE, locker room with 10th graders. And that was the PE teacher at that time concerned. And that's why this issue has come up. Now, this year, the schedule may have changed. I have no idea, but that was the issue why we are talking about this now. And it was a great concern last year.
Okay.
I'm Joanna Greenwell. I normally, my profession's PE, but I do the dean's position right now. I asked the Magnolia because I was concerned about the PE issue, having sixth graders with the older kids. Yes, they're in 9th and 10th grade. They don't offer PE for 11th and 12th grade. So 11th and 12th graders, 11th grade is on the campus, but they don't do PE. Their bell schedule to share the locker room is different. When we have our 7-minute period, we're in, we're out before they come in. There's no time that the two schools are in the locker room at the same time. Okay?
I would just like to say, I was invited today by the Magnolia School Site Council to come in and sit on their council. And one of the issues that they were talking about over there was that they were looking at trying to find funds to buy a campus security, because that's an issue too for them. And some of the parents were having the same dialogue that we're having. And what my point was, I was trying to invite them to this meeting because technically Magnolia is still under the auspices of the LA Unified School District. So if everybody would come in and try to work together, so it would not separate. But anyway, that was one of the concerns that those parents had, because they felt like that their children that last year were, I don't know if they had the classes were in the same hallways or the same buildings then. I'm not talking about now. But from what I heard from the conversation there was that the classes were, some of them in the same building, and those kids had to go by there. And it caused a lot of ruckus and so forth. So it seems that those issues are being worked out because they have their own separate areas, which may work out. Okay? Anything else?
I just want, I had two questions for my last question regarding African Americans in the English, not being proficient in English. That's an issue. So has anybody addressed that, or will somebody get back with me on that?
We'll
proficiency in English?
For African American students, for low proficiency.
Okay, again, as I stated earlier, our teachers are meeting regularly on every Thursday and some Tuesdays, and they're given the opportunity to look at data, student work, and talk about what type of strategies they'll implement within their instructional practices to best meet the needs of all students. And again, as I mentioned earlier, administrators are visiting classes at least once a day to make sure that those practices are being addressed.
And just to add something very quickly, there is an intervention
Excuse
between...
me, introduce yourself, please.
Oh, my name is Rebecca Samuel. I'm the assistant principal in charge of instruction at Princeton. I just want to mention that we also have an intervention between the Bell, which is called Literacy for Success. And what happened is that when the teachers are planning and they're looking at the area of need for that particular students, they are given an extra period in English to develop that part of it. And usually what happened within one semester, the kids in there identify the gap that is missing and they can move on to the regular English. So that's one of the areas that we're using. At the 6th grade level, we also have the same situation where there is an elective class where the teacher that is working with that student all day, they identify the particular target area and they design a lesson or they design a sequence of lessons that address that. So the student, the entire focus is to have them identify the gap so they can.
From the district perspective, the achievement of African Americans is increasing, just like every other child's achievement is increasing. The problem remains there is a persistent gap between the achievement of African Americans and the achievement of other groups. And so to that end, Dr. Daisy has given everyone direction to address that. And Mr. Samuel alluded to extra periods, Saturday classes, intervention programs. We even have LAVA, the Los Angeles Virtual Academy. So that's more for secondary students, but there is a concentrated focus on that and identifying more African American youth in our gifted and talented programs. Ms. Hart, I have to let the chair recognize.
Yes.
What about for the elementary school? We're talking a lot about the secondary schools, but what are you guys doing for the elementary school students on that level?
I think the elementary director is more appropriate.
There's a period, there's various things, but there is a period every day that is language, that talks about language, and I think that's what you were talking about. English, not just written English, but also spoken English. Is that what you meant?
Well, not really spoken. I mean, our kids are not testing and they're not.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm
general
talking about
achievement.
Achievement, because our African American students are coming, and other languages, children are testing higher than African Americans. The stats are already there. LNUSD, we filed complaints. LCR, Office of Rights, came out here and discussed that specifically in total. So the specific data is there. So I'm asking, what is LNUSD doing to specifically target African American students? I understand you're giving an extra English period. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
You're having Saturday classes, and you're having, as you said, LAVA. Is that what you indicated? Am I correct?
That's the virtual academy.
Okay. So
But
what?
the two principals.
All right, which principal would like to come up and speak? Thank you, Ms. Hunt.
Hi, good evening. My name is Camelia Huntley, and I'm the principal at Leawood Avenue School, and I will be more than happy to address this. How are you doing? I recognize you. One of the ways that we are doing this, for example, tomorrow, I'm working with my grade levels. I will have grade level articulation. We will review our Dibbles our DIBELS data. We will also review our CST data. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be looking at the data, and we're going to be really focusing in, especially at my school, on second and third grade students that have they attained far below basic, and basic on the CST, especially in second and third grade. But however, we will meet with every grade level. That's one thing that we do in elementary schools. We did get a new literacy program last year, which was the Treasures program. We're working with our teachers, helping them to really understand the pedagogy within that program. Also, we're making sure, as principals, we're going around, we're making sure that the students are able to access the curriculum through universal access groups. In other words, small groups where the teacher is they're teaching a whole group lesson, making notes as they go along, which student, maybe a student needs extra help in the skill level of, maybe they didn't learn how to identify a verb or a noun. They were doing that, working with the writing process. So these are some of the things that we're working with our students on an individual basis. Thank you.
Yes.
I want to shed some light on past history. This should take me probably maybe about 2 minutes. Okay, I sit here and I listen, and I understand that there are a lot of parents who are not knowledgeable about certain things that happen along the way. And I came into this district in 1990 as a substitute teacher. I was going to leave and go back to my profession of engineering, but this teacher told me, no, you're going to stay here because you are a very valuable teacher. I started out in Watts at 96th Street School. Actually, I started 102nd Street in this country. Then I ended up at over 96th Street School, which was at that particular time 10 schools under Dr. Ted Alexander. Back in about I was very angry too, around 1996, 97. I couldn't understand why our African American students were being ignored. And then my principal pulled me to the side. I love her to death. She gave me my foundation to this day. One of the things that she told me was this. Back in the early 1970s, you had your Hispanic group and you had your African American group. They met downtown with the district. One of the things she said, well, why are the Hispanic students achieving and the black students aren't? She said, that's because the parents in this, I believe it's over in the Crenshaw area, at that time they were affluent African American that lived over there by Wellington and the big homes over there. And she said that they govern our African American students. They said, we don't need any help from the district to help educate our students. We can do it ourselves. Well, the Hispanic parents said, we need that help. So the district, from my understanding, if I recollect what she told me, was that they gave the Hispanic money and a foundation and a plan to get their students to learn. Well, our people, and I mean our people, which I'm terribly offended, because they didn't live in Watts. They lived in an affluent area at that time, and they governed us. And this is the end result 20 years later. That's one of the things. Dr. Alexander brought the high suspension rate up about African American students being suspended back in 1998, 99. I was a UTLA rep back then. That was one of our biggest topics back then. And it has come full circle again.
Time.
I got a question. You give her my time. That was some information.
Okay, we have a motion. Now, okay, we've heard, are from parents and questions. We are going, there's another area here on the agenda when we're talking about parents and community. Here's what we need to know, is that after hearing Mrs., what's your name again, please? Folks. After hearing Mrs. Folks talk about the community and all, this is why we really want community involvement. Because in the past, in certain areas, parents were not aware and were not educated on their roles in schools and how powerful a parent's role is. Parents were not empowered. When parents know what can happen when they get involved and they do and they have in any aspect of the school, then that will ultimately increase the academic success of the student. I did a dissertation on the involvement of parents on a school where I was in a low-performing school area. And I'm not going to call the district, it was one of the worst districts that many people think is the worst district around here, but now they're doing their thing. But when you make a parent, when a parent feels that they are welcome, when they feel valued, that is the difference. Now I'm just going to be honest here, I'm going to tell it like it is. Today we came to this campus, and there were some parents that were here, even before I got here. There was no sign up. There was nothing showing where this meeting was. That made some people feel, oh, we're not welcome here. They don't want us here. I personally, because like I said, I support the principal. I've worn her hat. I know what she's up against here, and especially a new one, having to know the community. But I drove around here and found a young man over here that was very nice to open the door, because I did not want to lose the crowd and did not want to have a negative light cast on this meeting today. But we have to first start at the school site to say, come on in, parents. You've got it. I follow Joyce Epstein's 6 models of school involvement, parent involvement. A parent, even if they're not literate, they can come on the campus and help with security, can help in the classroom, even with art or what have you. You've got to find out what will make your parents want to do. And that's some of the things that we've been hearing in our meetings here that have been coming to Mr. Alford and to us, that they don't want the parents here on campus. Not to you, because you haven't been here. We're just giving you things that you can tighten up around here. That has been the thing. Kick them off campus, run them off campus, not involved in site councils and so on. This is what we've been heard. Now, I see some hands going up, so I'm going to give you your chance.
Excuse my seat, my leg is hurting, but I'm Pamela Rocket, the parent rep here. And a few days ago, we had 15 parents on campus decorating, celebrating Mexican Independence Day. Parents are always welcome here. I talked to the parents. I had coffee with the principal a few weeks ago with parents that showed up and came. The reason I didn't have any signs out for this meeting, I had them in my office upstairs. I had flyers telling about the meeting. I met this gentleman in the parking lot the other day. He was giving me a flyer, and I said, I've already given him to my parents. I mean, I can't force them to come out, but I am very kind to them. I do what I can, everything, because I'm a parent as well. My kids are grown. They went here to Curtis, 30-year-old, a 25-year-old, and a 20-year-old. My daughter graduated valedictorian of her class when she graduated high school. So I know what it's like to be a parent. I know what it's like to work here as an employee for LAUSD. That's not true. I've never kicked anyone off of campus, never. And here's our other parent rep that was here years ago. She can say as well.
Well, what I'd like to say, though, I know all these schools have parent reps, but therefore, this place should be packed.
It should
be. It should be packed. Because I personally drove over to Victoria Park and passed out flyers, and I've met those 2 women there. Those 2 women there are my efforts. And there are paid positions here to get these parents out. And it's not to come and tell on the school, but to help make the schools better, so that there's not griping, there's no gossiping in the community. You have.
And I'm a parent here. My son, he's in the autistic program here. Mr. Bacon is his teacher, and I always feel welcome every time I come on this campus. And no one has ever told me that I have to leave. And I come up here on my off Fridays, my furlough Fridays, and we sit, we have coffee, we talk about different things that we can do, to improve certain things in the school, and I always feel welcome. I feel like she's my sister.
Really, all that's good. That's good. I don't think she's speaking of the minority. She's speaking of the masses who may feel that way. So it's a good thing that you come on the campus and you're happy here. But
We get the
calls.
Yes, we get some calls concerning this campus. Not recently, but we've gotten a lot of calls concerning putting people in, calling police on them and all that madness and causing all kinds of stuff to go on. But just a moment. Causing a lot of parents a whole lot of unnecessary trouble when it could be rectified right here at the school. And that's what they were speaking of when they're talking about understanding black culture. They get the wrong idea, maybe with a young man, because you don't understand. You don't understand them at all, so you do the next thing, you call police on them. In the end result, they're going to handcuff them down there, maybe give them a ticket or something. That costs $300 or $400. That ain't right. So we just hope, if it's not necessary to do that, don't do that. And so far, I haven't seen any of that recently. But we've had a lot of that going on in the past over here. So that's what we speak
I
of.
just want to clear your record. So you're not saying the parent center here is not inviting, is that what you're saying? I mean, I want to just clear the record. Oh.
All we're saying is, we don't want you, nobody to take anything that we're saying personally.
Oh, no, well,
The thing is that we're not talking about the minority, we're speaking in terms of the majority. I would assume that we might be in the minority instead of the majority. That's a good thing that you're here doing whatever you can do for the school. We wish all parents could, come on over here and help with the school.
Okay. I see where you're coming from, and I just wanted to say that today is September 20th, 2012, and at this point we are going to move forward because here at Curtis, last school year, we did have a very, very bad culture of calling the policeman all the time, to the point that I even told the sheriff department, maybe we need to get you an office up here. No, I did, because I too felt like it was just so unnecessary to have the sheriff up here every day of the week. So, we're moving forward. I mean, we've been here now since August. Sheriff hasn't been called yet, and I want to know what's the difference. What's the difference?
That's a good thing.
So, we are going to move forward, and we're going to leave that alone. We're going to move forward, because it's over.
I would agree, because I think you got some people who can take care of that part of the business. You want to have that.
There's a
There's a
question.
question in the back.
Was there a question in the back?
You know how, I don't know how you do it here, but you know how sometimes teachers share their strengths and when they come together just in staff development, and one teacher may be stronger in one area and another one, more than the next one. Well, you have some teachers, she doesn't mind me using her, she may be stronger in that culture area, and she may get together with her group, with some teachers, whoever's willing, to learn how to approach some of these young people who are misunderstood. Because it worked for mine. So what were you doing that made my kid think he couldn't do what he thought? Somebody may need to know that and come together and share.
Can I answer that? What I did for her child was I showed that child that I cared. And when you show a child that you care genuinely, it's got to be with passion, you will make the difference.
I think we got a couple more questions. There you go.
You have a question, Karen?
Oh, the book here.
We're done on this first sheet. Number 10.
Number 10. Go ahead.
So it appears that we are off to a good start as Ms. Hart, and that we've heard these comments from the audience and from the administrators. And we want to make sure that by June, we will have a progress report that we have made a difference. We collectively, collaboratively have made a difference. And I will say that I think that our meetings that we began to have in May have made a difference. Because we did have, our first forum was May the 3rd, I think it was, of 2012. and then we had a second one in June 28th. So I can say to the district that I can see that you've listened to us, and you have begun to make positive changes to help our students. But prior to that, there was nothing, so we're moving forward. Now, Ms. Hunt, does anybody else have anything else? And we'd also like to thank our person, would you give me your name, Mr. Terrence? He's been here and he's been recording our meetings, because this will be documented and it will be in our archives and wherever else we can think back at what we're doing. Because this is a project that we're going to continue to look at, and we're not going to drop it. I personally am not going to, because I want to see these scores up. Yes, Mr. Love.
Yes, well, good evening. I just want to say one area I think we haven't gotten into is I'm the current chair of the school site council. We have, we're begging for people to come in and participate. If you want to increase your parent involvement, come there. Now, most of the issues you're talking about, we discuss them almost every month. You want to know about discipline? We get a report on that. We sit down. We have a subcommittee on discipline. So you can be aware of that. That's going on. The API, AYP, we're following that every month. The expenditure, we do all of that. And frankly, I have overall found that the teachers have been very cooperative. In most groups, you got one or two you got to deal with. That's in everything. But basically, the people have been friendly. It's been a warm environment. And in terms of learning other stuff, in terms of about the school, if you come out to the school site council, and apparently we have a meeting, frankly, coming up on the 2nd of October. Come out because we need to have more participation. This way, all of these issues that you have discussed, you can deal with them there. We also have public comment period. Anything else you think that's within our purview, you can do that. So I've seen, and frankly, I guess in the time having sat on this council, I've also seen where some people have gone away with the wrong information. I've had to talk to people who really had no concept of what really was going on. But if you come to our meeting at least once a month, then you can see what the situation is. So if there's any issue you want to deal with, we work closely with the staff, we work with the NAACP, everybody else. Of course, I've been to his school before he moved up. So all around. But I just want everybody to know there's a school site council that deals with all these issues that you think.
Do you have a functioning PTA here?
Is there a functioning PTA? I'm here speaking, of course, in terms of the school site council, because that's the one that makes the decision.
No, I understand that, but we do have a president that should be.
6 o'clock. Oh, in terms of, yes, the time, we meet at 6 o'clock. We'll be meeting next month, October, 6 o'clock p.m. Then we alternate. The following month, in November, we meet at 3:45, right in the library.
Okay, your 3 minutes up, Mr. Love. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
You sit there and you say all the things that we are questioning. You already done it. But where's your results? Well, we're getting these complaints.
Well,
what kind of results did you get?
Okay, Ms. Alfred, in terms of results, there's a school report card that comes out. You come to our meeting, you'll be able to see that. If you came to our meeting, you would see the AYP scores. So I'm saying it's easy. You can see what the results are.
You already have that results here. Tell us about the results.
No, but I'm saying, Mr. Alfred, you're trying to simplify the situation. That's this lady that pointed out. Even in terms of expelling black boys all across the country.
I know what you do.
You can come to our meeting. We have a record. We can have a record of everything that we voted on, sir. I think, see, this is part of the problem. You don't understand what's going on. I'm going to have to say it, but you don't understand what's happening.
I think I understand. I understand you. I know you.
Well, then come to our meeting. Our record will show every vote that we took on
Okay, Mr. Love, would you please take a seat?
That's all.
It's over for you. Please take a seat.
Okay, Madam Chair, deal with your president because I don't think he understands.
Sir, let me know.
Yeah.
Mr. Love,
I don't think he understands. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Alfred.
Okay, Mr. Alfred.
Let's go back. We got some sense up there.
Please, Mr. Alfred.
now, the thing is, what I'm saying is this. You're talking all this talk, but if if something wasn't going on, why are we here? If some people ain't calling us. Yeah, that's true. Why are we here?
We discuss it after the meeting.
No, you need to tell these people.
Let me say something else. There's a large percentage of students who go to Curtis who don't live in the area. You don't have the community to buy into the school. They have given up and they have sent their kids other places until we can show the improvement and get the kids back and the parents back. It's just going to be like this.
She needs the principals.
We're gonna have 2 more people to speak, and that's the end of it.
Ms. Alford, just things. Okay.
I just wanted to address the students not coming.
Okay, Doctor. Dr. Williams, this cord is tangled up. Let's see. Oh, it's over the chair.
So, as you know, we have a magnet here on our school site, and part of the magnet program allows for parents within the boundaries of LA Unified School District to apply and be accepted in the magnet program. Our regular school, all of the students live in the area, with the exception I looked the information up, there are 4 students who live out of the district, and those students received permits initially when they were at the elementary schools. So all of the other students live within the area.
So you're saying all of the kids live within the area?
For our regular school. Now, our magnet school, they live within the LAUSD district, the boundaries of LAUSD, and that's the rules of the magnet program. For any magnet school, it's an application process that the parents go through, and if the magnet office accepts them, then they're allowed to attend the magnet school of their choice.
One other person, that's the last person to speak.
First, I want to thank the NAACP for being our partners in here and providing us with the support. We really do appreciate that. On parent engagement, I was talking, and I always talk to the parent rep. Parent component is critical to our success in educating our kids. And one of the proactive steps that we take is ongoing daily contact before problem, being proactive, talking to the parents, and engaging them in decision making with us. In addition to the typical open house, back to school nights, we try to get more parents, and we are not ourselves satisfied, but we are taking proactive steps, and we will continue to engage the parents. And one of the ways we engage them is celebrating with the parents their kids' success. We don't want to keep calling the parents only when there's a problem. A kid has done an infraction. Okay? We celebrate their success because we have successful kids and we have successful parents who deal with their kids, and we want them to be proud of what we are doing and what their kids are doing. And thank you very much.
Okay. With that, we're going to conclude our meeting, but I would like to say that the NAACP Executive Education Committee will continue to be involved in the schools. We'll be working with the administrators and with the district ESC South office, and we will also be doing outreach to get more parents involved, because as each time we meet, we have a larger group, and we would like to meet maybe quarterly to see how we're doing in terms of a progress report for ourselves and for the district. So I think that we're off to a good start, and we look very optimistic for a good year. And I would like to thank Mr. Hickey, who's come from another interest group. Would you like to tell the group, Mr. Hickey?
Oh, sure. I always like to talk.
Thank you very much.
My name is Chris Hickey. I am the Executive Director of Each One Teach One Alliance for Academic Access, Achievement, and Success. And I have offered the principal here the opportunity for me to come on campus. I do workshops on parenting, workshops on creating a college-going culture at home, school, and community, and I've heard a lot of things here. discussed about the things that, the role that parents play. So I'd be very happy to come on campus. We're parenting workshop, I do student workshops, encouraging kids to study math, science, and technology. We do a free SAT prep workshop from time to time, and so we'll certainly be offering the high school students in this community that kind of service. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to be here, and I appreciate it.
Now, like I said, we've heard all about the middle school and the elementary schools, but we still have the concerns with our high school. So we're asking that our district officials help us to get something going on there, because we know that the high school is critical. We don't want to just let those go by the way. And those students are being prepared to go into to society and in college and work in the work environment. So we've got to address that issue. So I know time is of the essence, but we're still looking to have you, if any of the districts, would you like to say anything, Dr. Bravo, Dr. Noble?
I'm going to say, have a good night, everybody.
I just want to ask a question. That after we dismiss, I would just like to have a little family meeting with Bravo and Naval and my principal and my assistant principal. I need a family meeting. I just wanted to stay in the house. So I want to ask, after we dismiss, can we have this little 5-10-minute meeting?
It's really 5 to 10 minutes.
But I was like, that's what it's going to be. Because either I do it in the house or I can just put it out front.
Okay. You adjourn.
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second the motion.
We have a motion to be adjourned. All in favor, say aye.